Show.
Hey, welcome back to Powered by 8 Racing YouTube channel. Today we got Ethan Lowe with us, and I talked about him a little bit in the previous video. We were with him for the day last Saturday at Sebring, and we contracted him for the day, so his services are available. I know that you got into motorsports locally here through Danny. What is your resume, I guess, basically?
My resume, it's actually not bragging about myself, but it's quite of size for as young of an age that I am currently. I'm 25. I started back when I was 11 years old, started locally, just regular sprint karts, Rotax 125cc at the age of 11. Right off the bat, within my first year of racing, we won the national championship and so on. Did that for 4 years, then tried to get into cars. Now no one tells you how to transition out of cars. So Rotax 125cc, ended up winning national level stuff right off the bat, and did that for 4 years.
And how old were you when you did that?
I was like 12 or 11 and a half or 13.
When you were young.
Like that. Yeah.
Okay.
And so I was in go-karting for 4 years, and then once I was wanting to transition into cars, no one really tells you how do you go about doing that.
Right.
So I literally walked around the local round track at Showtime Speedway, just asking, hey, can I clean your helmet? Can I clean the car? Can I, dude, I don't even care if I have to, clean your race shoes or whatever. Whatever, just let me get involved. And then finally, a guy named Danny Partello here in St. Petersburg, Dan Partello Race Cars, they had let me kind of do exactly that, and they said, hey, we have a race shop, do you want to just come do that? We can't pay you anything. And I'm like, yeah, sure. So for about a year, every day after school and every now and then I would sleep at their shop just cleaning their floors, and every now and then they would be like, hey, record the spring ratings on some of the springs for our cars. I went to Skip Barber and Formula Car stuff, did okay in that, went into SCCA Spec Miata, did really well in that for only a year before I had someone actually then offer to put me in GT3 cars, but an SCCA level. 2 minute, 10 lap at Sebring type pace GT3 cars. Did really well with that, and then got into IMSA, found sponsorship, and the Continental Tire Challenge is what it was called at the time, of body motion racing based in New Jersey. Did really well. We finished third overall or something like that in the points. Rookie of the Year is what I had gotten in 2015. And then the next year was a factory Mini Cooper driver, legitimate factory. And then afterwards worked with Ginetta USA, a dealer in the US, so on and so on. And my career is, I have experience in everything from go-karts, Miatas, to legitimate full-blown GT3, Porsche GT3R, GT3 stuff, GT4 as well, prototypes and formula cars. So the highest class car that I've driven, I would say, is probably the most fun car I've driven was the LMP2.
Does I ask you what was your favorite one to drive?
Hands down LMP2 car.
Yeah. I
would say nowadays I'm still racing, still doing it professionally. It's just, some years you have a ride, some years you don't. So in the meantime, I just do driver coaching full-time. People will hire me to do setups on their cars, to set up their cars for teams before a race weekend and such. Get drivers quicker, such as yourself, so you can trash more lap records. And teach people racecraft as well. But every now and then people have me be their teammate as well, that reach out to me for coaching, and we do data stuff as you and I have done this weekend.
The one thing that I think really stands out by having you next to me this weekend was I've been instructing for, as an instructor, not so much a coach, I wouldn't say, but instructing and helping people learn motorsports and through HPDs and stuff like that, is that I feel created myself bad habits because of instructing them at a low level. Just that repetition of do it like this, do it like this, do it like this. I then convinced myself that was the proper way to do it over and over. So the big thing that I got from it, even after driving for so many years, is I was probably plateaued, and I think my lap time showed that I was plateauing. I needed to do something. Immediately within the first session, we were able to identify, okay, here's where we can really start focusing on and picking up time. And and then I could go back and think like, oh yeah, that's the way we need to do it. And then I can ask higher level questions, but it doesn't have to be, you're not only there to help people with lots of experience. You know what I mean? It could be the guys that
it's day ones.
That
it could
day
be
ones,
guys on
right.
their day ones that literally are just, how do you approach a 90-degree turn?
I can tell you that because before I got into the track, I had a lot of other motorsports experience, and like I think we talked about, I was really big into drag racing, and then I got into like autocrosses and things like that to start with, and that was my first introduction to actually turning the wheel of a car versus just driving straight fast, and so I had like really good car control, and my first track car was very set up for the track. It wasn't just a street car, you know, because if I have a tendency just to go overboard with everything that I do. So my first track car was a stripped down Mustang that had, you know, $13,000 of Max Motorsports suspension in it, and every track part you could buy
right.
for it.
Just be honest. Just say what it is. You're in sports, you might as well.
And so, and then I go out for my first DE, and it was like, yeah, I had somebody out there, but I feel like I could have benefited from a higher level instruction, probably from the beginning, to set a stronger foundation.
You and me both.
Than picking than picking it up. So you're lucky that you got it at a younger age. I did it at a much older age. You know, just different paths of life, I guess. But yeah, so I don't think that just because you're super experienced doesn't mean that your coaching is limited to super experienced people. Right. I guess is what I'm getting at.
Absolutely.
In a long about way of saying it. I know that you run with Chin. Primarily, you're going to travel with them, I think.
Yeah,
is that what you're going to do?
Yeah,
is that the plan?
I mean, I'm the head coach with them at as many tracks as people ask me to go to. My home track is here at Sebring. But, for example, in a couple of weeks, I'm going to go with them to Watkins Glen, VIR in Virginia.
Now, I don't know this about the Chin organization. I don't know how the Chin organization is set up. If it's like a NASA or SCCA and they have regions, there's Chin region for the Southeast and there's Chin region or is it just Chin? If you need to go do an event at Laguna Seca with Chin, it's all part of that same organization, and you could go to California and do an event.
It is very much so like that. You have different event managers per
sure.
area, but for the most part, like its whole concept is just for convenient seat time.
Okay.
Within a controlled setting.
Right. So if somebody in California is like, you know what, I really want Ethan to come out here and
Absolutely.
coach me, then you can go out there and be there, and then or wherever it might be.
And it's a good event, or it's a good sanction body, a really good sanction body to get good seat time, and they're a dime a dozen. They're at so many tracks, quite often.
Right.
Though, you know, I'm not just limited to Chin.
Sure.
I'm the head pro coach for multiple organizations as well, especially on the East Coast. So I have obviously, as a pro driver, I have licenses in every series, so I could go to PCA, I could go to, the list goes on. And
when you do so then with Chin, you're their pro coach, they would then reach out to you through your webpage, or should they reach out, if it's a Chin event,
I would tell
Chin
them
or
to reach
either
Chin,
way?
because Chin really, they make my life easier, and they make
Sure, they manage it all for you.
Yeah, because you might have 5 people all trying to get a hold of me for the same half day or full day.
Right.
And so they kind of do the coordinating throughout a day, so no one's overlapped.
What if it's like PCA or a NASA HPD?
Just reach out to me, and I'm guessing we'll put the info in the description.
Yeah, of course, guys. It'll be down below. We'll have his information for you guys there. Yeah, so the other thing that was really nice about having him out there with me was that I was able to have him drive the car as well. And obviously, anytime you need something to work, it doesn't work. So we didn't get the V-Box to record your data, but thankfully I have a very expensive Motec system, so we can at least see lines. We might not be able to see we can at least see lines. We might not be able to see video through the V-Box, but we at least can go back and overlay lines and look at my lap versus his lap, and
we can nerd out at some squiggly lines.
Yeah, and that's what it comes down to sometimes at the end of the day. Do you have any data logging systems other than video that you use in cars?
Yeah.
Or
so really, I work with whatever a student would have inside the car with them. If they have a data integrated system into their car, great, like how you do, where you have VBox, I know how to work them all, AIM, TrackMate, VBox, Cosworth data.
Yeah.
You know, I know how to do all that stuff, so I'm not really limited to anything.
Do you have your own personal AIM that you bring with you?
I have an AIM Solo. I have to whip out an AIM Solo.
It's more just talking about technique, maybe. And
yeah,
stuff
usually
like
if they don't have any data in their car, it's like they're not even at that level yet for me to even.
Yeah.
So I very rarely do it. Seldomly do I whip that out or the GoPros.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So then the other thing, then we'll just. I wanted to kind of show everybody is just exactly how we go about looking at some of the data that. Obviously, this is going to be a little bit more of an advanced data acquisition because I have the Motec, and even if you have a VBox, it's going to be a lot. And I think, have you messed much with the Garmin Catalyst?
I have. A lot of I have. They're good for video. I know they have like a self-coach thing in there, but it's not really good because if I go out and set a stellar lap on new tires and the track conditions are just perfect, and then you go out there, it's like crummy track conditions, and tires are near cording. It's telling you, go faster, you're not braking late enough.
Referencing enough,
But the video quality on the Garmin's are
I haven't paid much attention to like how they've acquired data and stuff like that. I know that they have some data acquisition, I guess you could say lousely.
Right, they have some.
It's kind of like I'm gonna make a bunch of people mad by saying this, but it's like a toy.
Right. It kind of is. Its video quality is it's unmatched though.
Yeah.
So I would.
That's the disappointing thing with the VBox. It's super expensive, and the video quality is like a freaking flip phone.
What's good is it's just already there. It's already done as default, where it puts the video and the data together.
Yeah.
It's just they're so wonky.
Right. Well, as we know,
I'm not paid by GoPro unless you guys pay me, so I'm going to say this, where it's like a GoPro where it's like, dude, they're the most unreliable thing in the face of the earth.
Right.
So V-boxes are kind of that way too.
Yeah. So, but yeah, let's look at some data real quick.
Absolutely. So, looking at this, by the way, I will have to say and give you a compliment. You're no slouch. I mean, you're a super competitive guy, just like me. You know. Anytime I've showed up at the track, my attitude was always like, well, if I'm not here, if I'm not showing up even before the event, like who else came to finish second to me with that attitude?
Yeah.
Then what's the point of showing up? And I
funny,
like how you're like that.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that because I'm sure that people will attest that have watched the videos that I've said in my videos, like, look, hey, it's 5 o'clock in the morning and I'm up getting ready. Where is everybody?
Where is everyone? And I'm here working on my car. Yeah. Where are you guys at?
Yeah, and like every video I'm like, oh, look, here I am again, early in the morning, up early, ready to go. But and then my other model that I always live by is I practice like I play. You know, like and I even tell like my students, the one big thing I tell them is just muscle memory, and it's even when I'm on my out lap or on my cool down lap, I'm always trying to hit my marks. I'm always trying to drive properly. I'm never doing a gangster lean, chilling out. Everything's
you
always
have to be a machine.
Yeah, everything's always where it is, no matter how fast or slow I'm going.
And use it as a simulation, you know, for when it's game time, for when you actually are there on the spot.
Yep.
Yeah, because otherwise, what's the point? This is my attitude. I don't coach with this attitude, but I'm saying as competitors, this is how I am with myself. I feel like you have to be in order to win championships.
Right. Yeah. And yeah.
But you're no slouch, so it was really fun working with you.
Powered by Ocho.